I hope you all had a nice lunch. Did you have a nice lunch? Get some nice fresh air? Did anyone go for a walk on the beach? That's what I'd do if I had the time. I'd go for a walk on the beach. Alrighty, just clarifying, any questions about what we've been through today so far? Yep. You did? Oh my God, tell us. Well, if you want to share.
Sandra Lee.
Sandra Lee.
Dropping my surname and my middle name is my surname.
That's beautiful. So Sandra, would you like to come and introduce yourself to the group?
Hi everybody, my name's Sandra Lee and I am an author, an online course writer and a digital marketer.
Whoop, whoop! Whoop, 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 whoop. Who else wants to go? Now's your chance. Own it. Own it, own it, own it. Yes, good, fantastic. Well, no, you go for it. We're cute. No, stay there, Gabrielle, come on.
Hello everyone. My name is Safira Lingara.
Hello, Safira.
Welcome to the webinar today.
Yes.
As many people come to the launch of my book, is a complete number.
What? I am.
I'm an author, a speaker, digital marketer, and an online teacher and trainer and course developer.
Yes. Gabrielle.
Hello everybody, I am an author, my name is Gabrielle, and I'm also a digital marketer and a course developer.
Yay! Who's next? Go for it.
Welcome everyone, I'm Lynette. I'm a therapreneur.
Woohoo!
I'm an author, New York selling.
Yes, 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 yes.
Digital marketer.
Yes.
And an online workshopper.
Woo! Fantastic. Anyone else want to go?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Leonie O'Connell. I'm an author, an online course developer, and a digital marketer.
Woo! I want the digital marketer with much more confidence.
Oh, okay.
Go for it again.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Leonie O'Connell, and I'm an author, a digital marketer, and an online course developer.
Yes! That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Everybody that got up, remember to, at some point, ask us to send you a free MP3 audio or something like that. Just write your name down the back, and we'll make sure we send you something as a little gift. Do I need to turn this off? Alrighty, so let's get into our online courses. The basis for every course, okay? The fundamental principle of everything that we do with our online courses is all about ensuring that our learner achieves transformation. Every course has to have the purpose of that transformation outcome, whatever it is, whatever promise you're making in the course title, then they have to physically achieve it. With a book, you're making a promise on the cover, but you can't guarantee that they're going to actually achieve that transformation because they're kind of having to read it and interpret it themselves. With an online course, you're providing the step-by-step instructions for that transformation. Do you see the subtle difference? They're just reading about it in your book. In an online course, they're provided the step-by-step instructions, often video tutorial. Sometimes it may well be audio download tutorials. Others, it might be quizzes. It might be PDF downloads, exercises they have to do and re-upload. It could be they might have to produce videos themselves in answer. They might have to be, depends on what you want the learner to achieve. But the objective is always some kind of transformation. And that needs to be in the promise of the title and, of course, in the followed through with the content. So a learner wants to achieve A. Who's tell me somebody's course, and I'll use it as an example. Who's producing what topic? Yep.
8 keys to unlocking the power for you.
Okay, and so we understand the power for you. What's a tangible outcome they receive as unlocking the power for you?
They'll go from fear to freedom.
Okay, so learner wants to achieve to let go of fear and find freedom. You provide all the tools and strategies to help them let go of fear and find freedom. But then you surprise them with loads more. Yeah? You actually surprise them with B, and you surprise them with C. And then you entice them to move on with D until they reach their outcome at the end, far greater than they thought they were going to expect. So it's about over-delivering with your online courses, ensuring that you entice them to stay in the game after each module and not forget about it before. So they will come back to you for the next product when you do that. So if every course has promised A and you deliver A with bells and whistles, and then you offer them B and C as well without them even expecting it, they will come back to you for the next thing that you produce for them.
So each time you ask them for money, or
No.
is it all in the module?
That's in the module, in the courses. So you might have, say, a 6-module course plus your intro and outro module. So it might be 8 modules in total. And you've stepped them through a process. The promise in your title, the promise in your outcome is A, but you, as a gift along the way and as a bonus along the way, you offer them the other opportunities to grow in ways that surprise them, in ways that bring them joy, in ways that make them feel connected to you and heard by you. And one of those bonuses might be, we've had an online forum with members of the course, and what we've heard is they need this, 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 and this. So we've decided to add that free of charge into the program for you. Wow. How cool would that be?
So powerful.
Exactly. And for you, it's actually just an extra module that you need to create, which might be a couple of hours in front of, video editing and in front of your PowerPoint to produce a PowerPoint. But once it's created, you can use that in so many ways. That extra bonus and gift that you're giving them can be in this course, but you can also take it out of the course and use it as a lead magnet somewhere else, can't you? You can use it to market another course. You can do so many things with it then as well. But they will always then come back to you. What we're after is somebody that becomes your loyal fan. They want what you produce, whatever it is. They become that fanatic that says, if she produces that, I'll have it, and if she produces that, I'll have that too. Cool? Remember what we did with our books is we looked at how do we kind of get the idea. So some of you may be thinking that you just want to do a book in its own right, and you want to do a course on a different topic and you don't want to connect them. I understand that, or that you might just want to produce a course and not a book. If that's the case, you need to go through the similar process that we went to with the book to identify the right topic. So you need to go through asking yourself the kind of questions of what am I interested in, what am I passionate about, what do I know more about, what am I authority in, or who do I know that is an authority that I could interview, what do my patients ask me for help with, all of that kind of stuff to help you determine the course outline or the course title, and then of course being able to follow that on with all of the branding and things that we've talked about with the book as well. So I'm going to just describe very briefly 2 different types of building processes. This isn't necessarily the types of courses you would create. These are the building processes you may choose. So the first one is a build before you sell it. So you actually build the whole course out, and maybe towards the 3/4 of the way through building the course and uploading all of the content, you start putting your marketing package together. So by the time you finish the content, you're already in launch phase and you're selling it. So this is a 10-step plan for putting that into action. So step 1 is to, obviously, first step, identify your topic and your market need. You start building your audience then. Yeah? You don't wait until your course is built to build your audience. You start right at the beginning. You then choose your course model, the kind of model you're going to build, and that's what I'm going to go through with you in a moment. Brainstorm your structure and syllabus the exact same way we did for the book. Yeah, you do your 17-minute, or you might want to extend it to a 30-minute process, whatever it is. If you make it too long, if you use a brainstorming process that's longer than around 30 minutes, you will actually not be brainstorming, you will be analysing. Yeah. So my recommendation is to keep it short, because if you analyze it, the analysis is supposed to come after you brainstorm it, where you look at what you've brainstormed and go, oh my God, that was genius. I would never have thought about that in a million years. And then you mold it like an editor. So once you've brainstormed it, you put your structure and your syllabus together, you're obviously then structuring the modules the same way you would have structured your chapters of your book. Create your IP, so your branding, your logos, your course banners, all of those kind of things, and you choose the platform that you're going to upload it to. You then test it, and you don't just test it once. So you test each of the modules as they work through. How does the end user going to experience it? You test the buying purchase price, the purchase process. You test whether they automatically get even though the course platform says that it's going to automatically add them, you need to test that it is working, that there isn't something that's gone faulty in it. So you've got to make sure you've tested it a half a dozen times and made an actual purchase of that course a half a dozen times before you actually launch it. There's nothing worse than launching a course and your first 2 people try to buy it and they go, oh, well, I couldn't buy it. It wouldn't work. And you've just lost a customer for life. Cool? So test. Obviously, then you need to publish and market your course. I would actually start the publishing and marketing process around step 5, where I'd be starting to build all of the marketing material out and then put it into launch action at that stage. Once it's marketed, of course, you then expand and implement all of your funnels and your upsells and your downsells and everything that you're going to do with it. Okay? Nothing is different whether you've got a book with it or without it. It's exactly the same. The only difference might be is if you've actually got a book with it, you might already have started to build an audience because you would have already produced your book or had your book ready for publishing. So that's where you actually spend a lot of time, sometimes a lot of money, actually building a program before you market it. The other alternative is to actually sell your product, sell your course before you build it. And I get most people going, oh, it's a bit scary. Yeah, I'm selling something I don't actually have yet. Who feels that? Who feels like, oh, I'm not sure I could do that? This has been one of the most productive and financially beneficial things I've done, and has been some of the most rewarding courses for the students that I've ever done in the models that I've used, the sell it before you build it. Because what it does as I'm building the course, as I'm doing it live with them, I'm able to tweak the content based on real end users. So end users are telling me, actually that bit in the course, it was nice, it was great, it was good to have, but I didn't really need that, I wanted this, yeah? And so I'm able to tweak it along the way. So the process, the 10-step process for that is similar. You start by identifying your topic and your market need. You then start building an audience the same way. You choose your course model and you brainstorm your structure and your syllabus. So you've already got it planned out of how you think it's going to go. You structure your modules, and then you've marketed to the people you're going to sell a pilot program to or a beta group program to. And you've got people who've purchased that beta group program, and you run the program. You can either run it for free if you want to do a free version, or you actually sell it. And I normally sell it for about quarter of the price I'm going to eventually retail it for. And I ask them if they will come on board, understanding it's a completely new program, understanding it's a completely in the trial and the pilot phase. We would love their feedback as we go along. And then you follow through on that. You hold a little group webinar halfway through and say, we'd just love to hear from you. And you open up their lines and you get them to tell you their feedback of the course so far. And in exchange, would you mind giving me a video testimonial? So by the end of the program, once you've run, whether it's a 4-week program, a 6-week program, a 12, whatever it is, you've actually collated for yourself hundreds and hundreds of verbal testimonials, where they've written things to you or said things to you, and they, what I normally ask for is a video testimonial. I use a video testimonial service called GetBravo. Has anyone heard of it? GetBravo.com. You can do a free trial on it, and you create a program where you send out an email to people, and you structure it saying you want them to do a 30-second video or a 90-second video. It's up to about 4 minutes, I think. And then you can give them the questions that they need to answer. So you're giving them structure for their video. They receive that email saying, would you mind giving me a video testimonial? They just click the link and it opens up and it records, and your questions are in front of them so they can answer those questions. And it's powerful. So the free version trial, I think they give you a trial for about 10 days or so. And then for 20 emails a month, as in you can send it out to 20 people and get 20 videos, it's $5. It's really cheap. So it's called getbravo.com. And especially in the therapeutic model, I've found that I get far more video testimonials using the Get Bravo system rather than just asking my clients, would they mind doing a video and getting it back to me? I could be waiting years. Because people go, oh, I can't do it. But when they can just click a link and it's happening right there in front of them and it's instant, they just get on with it and do it. And so what I would do with a beta trial group is I would be sending them the Get Bravo link, afterwards. Or I'd actually send it about halfway through for those that are having great responses and I know that I'm getting great reactions from. I'd send it about halfway through. Then I'd send it towards the end, last module or two. I'd be sending out the Get Bravo link as well. Is that useful? Do you see how if you just follow that structure, whether it's before you sell, it's very similar. It's just moving where you run the program as to where you would fit it into the actual step-by-step process. So the types of models of courses that you can do. You can have a fully automated course with a one-time fixed fee, with limited or unlimited access. So you can either have it as lifetime access, you're just buying the course outright, it's yours for life, or you can say it's a 3-week course and you've got access for 3 weeks, or it's a 12-week course and you've got access for. I use, actually I'll go back there and just talk more about that. I do have a couple of courses here that are for fixed fees, where they just buy the course. I don't have any more to do. I don't provide any kind of online support. I don't have any live interaction with them. They just pay a one-off fee for the course. And I think there is one they can go to a Facebook group that I have for my book readers and stuff as well. And anyone, because this course is to do with my book as well. So anyone who's bought the course or bought the book can go to that Facebook group. But I only answer questions. It's usually my PA answering questions for me. And unless she says to me, there's something I can't answer, then I'll go into the group. So there's not a lot of my time that I have to do with a course like that. It's delivered on full automation. So you don't have to, once it's done, the work is done and the course is uploaded, you don't actually have to do anything more other than monitor your marketing. Yeah, you still got to stay on touch with your marketing in order to continue to drive people to the course. The second one is fully automated plus support access. So the other option, this will be a slightly more expensive option where you are providing limited support. Okay, so it might be an interactive Facebook group, or it might be, I don't know, a one-on-one twice a year or something just to check on them or something, or it might be group webinars, something like that to follow through on. Again, it can be a one-time fixed fee plus a subscription model. Now, I use this very successfully. I think I mentioned a course, Emotional Eating Solutions, on day one, where I talked about I have a $2,200 program and I sell that sometimes on the launch phase. It retails at $2,200. On the launch phase, I sold it at $997, letting them know this was a brand new course. It was already built. Most of it, it's a 14-module program. I had about 7 modules already built as I launched it, and I continued to finish it after that. So it wasn't a sell before you build. I did actually build most of it first. And then I sold it for $997 as a launch price. Completely honest with them, it's a first-time course. I've never, ever done this before and would love your feedback. This is the one I also sent out an email to my list saying, I'm producing a course on emotional eating. I would love, as before I finalize the final content, I would love your feedback. I would love to know if I'm on track. Can you tell me the number one thing that you would like solved if you're an emotional eater? What's the second most important thing that you would like help with if you're an emotional eater? And then I gathered all of that information. I'd only built the first 7 or 8 modules out, and I used their feedback in the rest of the modules so they felt heard within that as well. Cool? And we sold I can't remember, I think we sold 13 or 14 on the 2-week launch, just an email campaign, no ad spend. And then over the next 6 or 8 months or so, we got so busy with this that we actually had to stop the marketing, because I nearly burnt out my PA. She was exhausted and ready to leave. And I nearly burnt out myself again, just going, what have I done? What monster? So I pared it back, and I actually kept the price at $2.2 then, so that then when I was interviewing people to purchase the program, I was picking the right people, because sometimes the people that were buying it weren't the right people for the course. Yeah. Yep.
Meg, when you say there was got too much and got better, is that because of the support access?
It was. No, the support access was fine. I'd actually tailored the support access very, very well. I just provide they do the online course, which is all automated delivery, and I provide once a week. I've been running it for 5 years now. Every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Queensland time, we run a 1-hour live therapy webinar for members of the Emotional Eating Solutions program. So that's the only work. Once it's up and running, I just provide 1 hour of my time to the whole group. So we might have 60 people on it, and sometimes there might be 10 people turn up. Sometimes it might be 20 or 30, and 1 hour a week for 5 years, I've been doing that. Sometimes if I'm not available, my PA does it for me because she knows them so well and she's been through the program. Cool.
What do you set for the agenda for a monthly webinar?
There's no agenda. It's a therapy program. It's what they bring to the table. So I open their mics and I say, tell me your top successes this week since we've spoken. Now tell me what your greatest challenge has been. And then we do the therapy at the end. So I speak to everyone for about 2 or 3 minutes each. And then at the end, we do the therapy based on those challenges they bring to the table. I don't even have to prepare for that webinar. Yeah, they're telling me what they want. Absolutely. If I had to add another hour or two, I'd have to think about the pricing kind of structure. But yeah, that one, majority of people have paid $2,200 for it. And then we offer the lifetime model, which is a subscription model of $147 a month. And, sorry?
Can you just explain why you interview before they buy an online course?
Not for all courses, absolutely.
For that 2,000?
For this particular course, because it's a course, the course topic itself can attract very, very hard to manage clients and very, very needy clients. And so I have to be very careful about, and also the types of therapies I'm doing aren't suitable for people on antipsychotic drugs and medication, so I have to make sure that they're the right person for the course. I've had a couple of people that have, when I didn't do the interview process, a couple of people that got on the program that were in a very big mess and, you know, always threatening suicide every week and disrupting the other members of the course. And so it became a course that therapeutically I know the world needs, and so I need to be very, very skilled at managing who I allow on that program. So it's by application only. And it's also a $2,200 program. So, you know, that's not a small amount of money for the average person who wants to do a weight loss or a eating course, yeah? That's quite substantial. Normally they're paying $20 a week with Weight Watchers, yeah? I'm asking them to pay $450 a month for a certain amount of period of time, or $99 a month for 2 years if they're paying it off. Like, I'm asking them for a big commitment. Does that make sense? Then you've got the beta testing, which we've talked about, obviously doing that as a one-time fixed lower cost. And then you can do even a subscription upsell as well, where some of the courses I've done where I'll actually provide the course, they buy that, they get that for life, and then I offer an option of monthly support. So with my Unzip Weight one, afterwards I can offer them the option of coming onto the live webinar with me that I'm already running anyway, if they want some ongoing support for weight loss or emotional eating. So it's no more time for me. Membership course, this is a very low cost, normally around $49 to $99 a month, and it's delivered on full automation. You don't normally have, if it's like an ongoing membership thing, you might end up with people on it for 2 or 3 years. So it's got to be a topic you want to talk about for 2 or 3 years. I normally restrict mine to about 12 months. And then offer opportunities for people to go on to a graduate program if they want to. So I'll normally do a 12-month purely because sometimes I might get bored with the content too. Yeah, and so I want to be able to keep it fresh for my members as well. And that can be an add-on after somebody's bought a big program. You can then sell them onto your membership programs, or it can be something you sell in its own right. a $49 program that you sell in its own right, and you're providing content. It's normally pre-recorded content. So you would, if you're going to launch something like this, I would probably recommend that you have at least 4 to 6 modules already pre-recorded, so you're not under pressure. Sell it, get your members on it, and then you're producing a couple of modules every couple of weeks, so you're always 4 to 6 modules ahead of where the student is. Does that make sense? And you can do it with support or without support, depending on whether it's a $49 or a $99 program. The reason I'm saying $49 or $99 is because they're the recommended prices. Out of the research that's been done, they're kind of the hot prices, kind of level prices for membership sites. With a $99 program, I normally provide some kind of interaction as well. And there's one particular course that I launched at $99 and I'm now selling at $197 because there's so much value in it. It's so good. The launch price was $99 a month, and anyone that comes on it now is $197. And then you've obviously got masterclass programs where they're a lot more expensive. They might be over a year, where they're a monthly subscription fee, and it's a contract for a year where you're helping them to achieve something over a year. I have excuse me, a program called Six Figure Business by Design for hypnotherapists, where we actually have $49 a month for 12 months, and they go through a process to build their business, etc. Okay, and that's delivered all online with a couple of live webinars. Is that making sense? Do you understand the kind of variations that you can have? And there are many other kind of variations with it. It depends on, what does it depend on? The kind of business you want to create. Yeah? I want to have a mix of low cost, no work for me once it's set up, programs that just tick over. Every month I know there's 30 grand coming in. Do you know what I mean? Every month you just know that there's some security coming in. But I also want, because I love it, I want the interaction with people as well. I love working with people. I love working face-to-face, and I love working with people on live webinars and things. So I do those kind of bigger courses because they bring me huge joy. But I know that there are a lot of people that can't afford them, so I have the lower cost for the people that can't afford it. But you might just want to do one course for the rest of your life, just have one course at a certain price because it fits the model that you want. It's so important for you to decide, what it is, and then just be open to, once you launch that and get it up and running, be open to the inspiration if something else pops up for you. That once you've done one, you kind of get addicted. Look at what happened to me. I've got 10 at the moment, and another 2 that I haven't actually, I've built them, I just haven't actually launched them yet, because I just absolutely love the process of getting this out of here and putting it into some sort of format that can help people in some sort of structure. Cool. So you've got kind of one-off, buy it for $199 or buy it for $59 or buy it for $399. It's yours for life, no more interaction. You've got automated delivery where it's all done like that, but you also offer a subscription process afterwards, usually a slightly higher priced, medium priced, around the 1,000 to 2,000. You've got your membership low cost, $49 or $99 a month, where you're supplying a module of something every week for 52 weeks or more, with or without interaction and support. At $49 or $47, I certainly wouldn't be, normally $49, I certainly wouldn't be offering lots of my one-on-one time. But at $99, because I love it, I actually do with some of my programs. But that particular $99 one that I have right now, actually there's a few people in the room that bought that at the launch price, and that's actually gone up to $197 now, because it's full of stuff. It is just so brimming with information and great tools. All right, because we've got a lot to get through, let's move on. Types of support provided with and again, it depends on the cost of the course. You've got to think about the kind of business that you want to create. If you offer support, you've got to be able to follow through on it. So if you offer support, but it's interfering with the fact that you want to go out every Friday night, your customers are going to bite you on the bum, all right? So obviously forums, so where they can just type in questions and answers. That means all you need to do is either yourself or your PA look at those questions, prior to the next module coming out and answer and respond. So somebody needs to be monitoring that kind of forum. You've got Facebook and social media groups, and I love these because they're free for us to set up, aren't they? Thank you, Facebook. Hallelujah, Facebook gods. They've provided all of these opportunities for us to provide all of this stuff free of charge for our customers. Social media secret groups as well. I have closed groups for most of my courses, but I do, depending on your course, I have one which is a secret group. Do you all understand the difference between a closed and a secret? A closed group, you can't see the content unless you're a member, but you can see who's in the group. Not anymore? Oh, fantastic. Secret groups you can't see. You can't even find the group. So unless you're a member of it, if you tried to search for it, you wouldn't be able to find it. So with my Emotional Eating Solutions, most of the people on that program don't want other people to know that they're in the Emotional Eating Solutions group. They don't want, often they don't want their partner or their husband to know. Yeah, most of the time they didn't even want the partner or the husband to know they were spending the money because they'd spent so much on these kind of programs in the past. So to them they needed the secrecy and they needed the privacy. So I do have a secret group for the Emotional Eating Solutions. Most of them are closed groups though. So if you search for the closed groups you could find them, but they couldn't see the content, and they can apply and you can say, well, you're not a member of my course. Here's the details about my course. Yeah, but if they search for Emotional Eating Solutions, they wouldn't be able to find it. You can also supply weekly or monthly group coaching webinars or educational webinars as well. They don't have to be just coaching, they could be training. I did that with the Six Figure program. I provide a monthly training webinar on that was recorded into the archives for them. Regular live Q&As in the Facebook group. I do that with my the 197 membership program that the price is moving to. I actually provide a weekly live Q&A. I go in there on a Wednesday night, I think it is, and if a student turns up and has a question live about what's going on for them in their business at that time, then we actually answer that, have a discussion with them and work through that challenge. I'll also do hot seats in that, where once every couple of months or weeks I'll actually choose one student in the group and actually do a hot seat with them. So we'll analyse their business, we'll analyse their Facebook page, we'll analyse their websites, and we'll do that live for learning for all of the other members as well. So anyone who's a part of the group gets to apply to have a hot seat. So they're the kinds of interactions and things that you can offer. Yeah. Again, only if it fits what? Your type of business, your model. Cool. Obviously, email support, phone support, bot chat lines and live chat lines, all of those things as well. A lot of those chat lines you can outsource eventually when you get to that stage. So if you get to the stage where you've got lots of students and you want to outsource and create a chat line there, then that's very, very useful to have as well. Completion rates. It is so important to provide those incentives because the science, all of the statistics are showing that those that complete become your customers for life. Those that don't are far less likely. As with books, how many books stay on the shelf? And as you've said earlier today, when you all put your hands up, how many courses are in your inboxes that you haven't even started? So you've got to provide them incentives to get started. That first module, just like that first chapter of a book, those first few seconds of a video, they have to capture the attention. So that first module has to seem easy enough to get on. It can't overwhelm them. It's got to feel like it's going to have substance in the course. So it's a balance between the substance they're about to experience and not overwhelming them. I have one caveat to that, and that's my Emotional Eating Solutions course, because I want them to be overwhelmed in the first 2 weeks, and I warn them of it in their first uptake interview. I say, I'm going to give you loads in this first 2 weeks. I'm going to ask you to do a lot, because I want to know what your triggers are for eating. I want to know what your stress point levels are. I want to know so I can help you. So
overwhelm them to eat more.
No. I overwhelm them to find where I give them the tools not to eat more in those first 2 weeks. And I overwhelm them to find where their stress point is, where their cravings came. Yeah, but I've already given them the tools in those first 2 weeks of how to stop the craving. Make sense? But I have that discussion for them first. yeah? And I provide on day 3 in the course, I actually provide a stress management audio that they can download that takes them 7 minutes to do. And I just tell them to go back to that at any point in that first week where they get stressed. And then I've given them the blinks and the eye rolls and lots of other things to do as well. But again, it's a very special group because it's a very particular kind of client that we've attracted to that group, and they can be a little bit needy in those early stages. And so I want to kind of push them to their limit so I know what I'm dealing with, so I can actually manage it. And within the first 4 weeks, they've actually changed their reaction to stress. Okay? The more people who achieve the sense of completion, the more referrals, testimonials, recommendations for your course that you will have. And if you look at the brain wiring of that, if somebody achieves a sense of achievement, then the brain wiring sets off all of this neurochemistry that makes them want to do it more. And so at the end of every module, I try and have, with most of my courses, there's some old ones that I have to go back and actually do this, but I will actually have some kind of little test or quiz that's really simple. I don't use the word test, but I use some sort of technique to show them how far they've come, how much they've already understood. So they finish the module going, oh, I get that. And they feel that sense of joy. The hormones are going in order to feel motivated for the next. Lots of measurement tools, a quiz at the end of the module, as I just said, anything to help them indicate how far they've come. Most online platforms as well will give them percentages. They might say, well done, you're 22% through or 25% through, all those sorts of things. And provide bonuses that unlock as they reach certain milestones, which are your add-on value stuff. They want A, but give them B and C as well. Must give them A, because that's what they want, but give them B and C as well. Alrighty, Colin and Wendy, these guys are so beautiful. This is, I think I mentioned them briefly yesterday. They've run a very busy clinic up in Townsville, and they had a very successful clinic, but was at that stage 4, just overwhelmed, overtime, incredible. And they were both working 6 and 7 days a week. And just exhausted, and had clients waiting. They were booked out 3, 4, 5 weeks in advance and working those kind of hours. And he was getting sick, he was getting eczema, and she was having some real challenges as well health-wise, was having sleep problems, all of that stuff was starting to happen. And so we talked to them about systemizing and leveraging what they knew and putting it into some sort of program, and decided upon, after looking at what their clients wanted, which was stress and anxiety. So the course is just about to go live very shortly. They wanted to drop down, these were their goals, they wanted to drop down to 3 days a week in clinic each, and be able to cover the week with both of them there. Plus they have other practitioners that work in their clinic as well. They wanted a solution to create a leveraged automated income that would sell to their existing database. They had thousands of clients who've been through their programs and that come back for little freshen ups and things sometimes. And they don't want to do the little freshen ups because they're hard work, and they've got to block out, and if they've got somebody on a 6-session program or a 4-session program, it interferes with all of that. So they wanted something that they could give to those people in order to stop that from happening. And obviously the biggest challenge that all of their customers on all of the things because they do the smoking, they do the weight loss, but they also do a drinking package as well, a drink less package. So all of them have stress and anxiety problems. And so we covered it by using that system first. And then, so they're doing it to their existing clients, and they're also putting it into the package as well. So they're pricing it into the package now as well. And then they're emailing it out to their existing list who've already been with them. And they're doing joint ventures with people who will send it out to their databases as well. And we'll eventually go to sales funnels and things in probably about 2 or 3 months' time. I think they just need to do that first, get that underway, see the reaction, see what's actually happening with the responses, and then when needed, we'll go to sales funnels at a next stage because they've got such a big list in the first place. So this is their course that's about to launch. It's going to be $147. It's a 4+2 module. We all know what that is now, don't we? It's an intro, welcome to the program. This is how it works. This is what to expect. Oh my golly, how amazing is this? 4 modules, and then a conclusion module which brings that all together about what to do now. And what the conclusion module also does, I help them devise a stress and anxiety quiz, that would give them an indication of the kind of triggers that they had for stress and anxiety. And we do that at the beginning of the course, and then we do that in the conclusion as well, so they can see how far they've come. So some sort of measuring tool that helps. I actually went up to Townsville with them and spent about 3 days producing the online course content and the face-to-face video work. They'd never done face-to-face video work and things. And so I spent 3 days with them to do that. And there were lots of bloopers. And so we, as a gift back to them, we put together a little blooper reel. And so it's a little longer than this, and they're actually going to put this at the end of their course as well, to show the course member, you know, the kind of fluffs and things like that, and that they were nervous. They had to do their work in the thing to overcome their anxiety about being on camera, etc.
Hello and welcome. My name is Colin Soper, and along with my beautiful wife Wendy, we're going to share with you the stress and anxiety relief. Oh, I've got to stop. Hello and welcome to your stress and anxiety relief program with my Freedom Academy.
That one's a blooper again.
Take a deep breath, roll your eyes very slowly.
Program. My name is Colin Soper, this is my wife Wendy, and we've created the Mind Freedom Academy to be able to help you achieve a more, I'm saying a whole lot. Oh, we're happy to do all that. This is what we do. We have to tell the time. We couldn't stop laughing. It took us like hours. This won't happen today. It's all good.
They're getting over stress and anxiety in minutes.
Yes.
So I thought that was just a bit of fun for them, and they just loved that. When I set that up to them, it was like, oh dear. That just gives you an idea that you can make it fun too. But I wanted to say something really interesting about that, in that we laugh at the fact that it was quite amusing that they were having their own challenge and they were just humans trying to get through their own blocks and stuff about it. That particular 3 days, Colin went through so much evolution. He had an immense fear that doing this program and being on camera, he was fine to do all the PowerPoint stuff where he recorded his voice. The minute I asked him to go on camera, it brought up all his fear. He would, that was the first video, and it took nearly the whole of the first day to get it down, because his emotion, he was crying at one point. It was so stressful for him because it brought up a very traumatic experience when he was in very early ages at school, where he was ridiculed in front of the class, and it brought up all of that issue. So it was an incredibly healing experience with them. So being with them to actually process that and get all of the stuff together and then videoed and edited and stuff together, it was good to be there with them to help them through that and work through their trauma with it. Because for Colin, it was that trauma that came up for him, and for Wendy, it was something else very, very deep-seated. And both of them actually had some immense emotional shifts just in getting the camera work out of the way. Isn't that just amazing what it can do when we're moving out of our comfort zone and our brain and our body is going into the trauma and the fear, and they wanted the change so much, so they persisted and they're willing to go for it and they're willing to invest their time and their money into it, but that they still had this stuff that they needed to clear too. So it was a beautiful experience actually to be with them, to actually help that process happen for them. And when you actually, if you ever do see the course itself, the change and the shift in their confidence, when we sent them to do the photo shoot, when I first asked him to go and do a photo shoot and I showed him some examples of poses and things that I wanted him to do, he just went into that white panic again and just sweat and fear and no way and oh my God. And he actually rang me after the day of the photo shoot at the end of it, and he's just like crying with laughter, saying it was so much fun, I was such a poser. So just by breaking through those kinds of blocks, yeah. And you know, we're therapists, but we're humans too. Just got to move it on. So the next point we're actually going to move into, kind of segue from the video into a little bit a chat with Lachlan. Lachlan is my videographer. He's actually going to be editing all of these 3 days together as well into the package that you'll receive, and does a lot of for the students that I do take on to help them develop their courses. He actually does all my video editing for them and helps them bring that package to life. He'll actually be there with them on the day with me, and we'll actually get them comfortable and video, and then he'll bring the package together. So very skilled, but he's also a very skilled marketer with video. So he's going to go through some amazing stuff about bringing a video together, getting great video content, and how to make it shine, as well as then what you might want to do with it on YouTube and all that side of stuff as well. So welcome, Lachlan. This is his debut presentation, so welcome, Lachlan.
All right, so I'm Lachlan Dwyer. I help opportunities capture and tell their stories and events with millions of views under my belt. So that's from YouTube, basically. I'll go on. So I'm going to be talking about how video is kind of like the new phenomenon in the millennial age. Evidence shows that online courses that include video are far more effective in helping students remember the information.
Just talk slower.
Sorry. So online courses, evidence shows that the videos are far more effective in helping students remember the information rather than text. So video is basically it's a better way of informing people about information, better information. Generally, people would rather watch something than read it. So if you're watching something, you're going to retain the information better than if you read it. Just a little bit about me. I'm a videographer from the Sunshine Coast. I began doing YouTube videos in the tech niche at 17 years old. I have 100 hours of video production and a non-profit organization experience, so basically filming and editing for non-profit and charities.
That's how Lachlan and I met. I'm the speaker leader for Spirit Hive, which is a national charity for suicide prevention, and Lachlan volunteers his time to do the videography for them as well.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. So like I mentioned, I have over 1 million YouTube views. That was when I was 18, I think. I started doing
such a long time ago.
Yeah, back in the day. And yeah, I got over 1 million YouTube views. I'll show you a screenshot of that. I helped one client grow his business to over 370,000 followers on YouTube. So that was a digital marketing accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, so this is basically, who knows what a YouTube thumbnail is? Put your hand up.
One of those.
Okay, yep. You know what they are? Good.
The thumbnail, do you know what the thumbnail is?
A thumbnail.
You might just need to explain that.
So a thumbnail is basically a preview of the video. So if you have a look at any of these thumbnails, you might be able to predict what the video is about. So this is Computer Hardware Review Channel. This is the company that I worked with, 370,000 followers, and I did some editing for them. And basically, a thumbnail is just a way to capture the audience's eye. So if you want to get views like these videos have, like I experienced, you need to look at your thumbnail and some other aspects that I'll explain in just a minute. And if you look at some of the red underlines, these videos have a pretty good amount of views. So
301, was that 301,000?
Yeah, this one has 300,000.
I want 301,000 views, do you?
Only if it's good, not a blooper.
Well.
So people would rather watch something rather than just read it, and video gives more perceived value to the customer or your audience member. It builds trust, especially if you're on camera. If you're building a relationship, video is a much better format. You're not going to build a relationship by a text post. You could, but video is a much better format. So, yeah. A little bit about Facebook. Facebook has algorithms just like YouTube does, and YouTube is owned by Google, so the Google algorithms carry over to YouTube. So Facebook also has these algorithms, and they optimize videos over text and photos as well. So if you have a video, you're going to get more views and be seen by more people just by computer algorithms. You cannot use copyrighted music like Maggie was saying in your courses. You need to purchase your royalties. You need to have your copyrights basically, otherwise you might get sued. You can obtain copyright-free music from sites like YouTube. More than 500 million people use Facebook to watch videos every day. And YouTube has even more, which I'll show you. 85% of videos on Facebook are viewed on mute. Is that surprising by anyone?
85%?
No audio. And that's without autoplay. And autoplay is basically when it plays automatically on your front page. So people choose to watch it on mute. And I'll talk about why that's important. YouTube. So the net worth of YouTube is 75 billion now. Pretty crazy. The total number of people who use YouTube a day is 1.9 billion. That's per day views. and 1 billion of those are on mobile.
I know.
So that's just
When
showing,
do they get time to do the washing? That's what I want to know.
so that's showing that 1.9 people, that's views per day, are using a social media platform, and 1 billion of them are mobile. So that's showing also that mobile is a big segment too. That's a marketing little niche point there. Total number is 30 million of daily active users, so recurring users. 8 out of 10 people aged from 18 to 49 years all watch YouTube. So the old people are getting in as well now.
Old people, thanks. Oh my God, we're all over 49. Spoken like a true youth.
Yeah, spoken by a millennial. Okay, 20% of people who start your video will leave within the first 10 seconds. So if you don't have like a good intro or a good thumbnail like I was talking about, people will leave your video. If you have a good retainment of video watching duration, that means you have good content, or people want to stay and they won't leave. Female are 38 and male are 62, that's just a marketing point. Most males on YouTube. And these 2 points are the most important.
Yeah, most people know why.
These 2 are most important. AdSense is the ad platform owned by YouTube, which is Google, to monetize your videos with ads. So if you've seen an ad on YouTube, that's because AdSense is there, and that's how YouTube monetizes it. And millennials prefer YouTube 2 to 1 over television, and I'm one of those. I don't watch television. I just watch YouTube and whatever. So yeah, millennials taking over.
No!
Average mobile users are 1 billion, and this is a pretty funny point. The youngest YouTube star is called Ryan Toys Reviews. It's basically a review channel that reviews toys, kind of like how I review computer hardware. He reviews toys, and he's 6 years old, and he makes 11 million in 2017. He made.
So, if a 6-year-old can make 11 million doing some video, what can a 60-year-old? What can a 50-year-old? Can I show you how he does it? I'm going to show you how he does it. Pretend I'm 6, right? And this is wrapped up in beautiful wrapping paper. And he goes...
Yeah, that's true.
He just unwraps presents. He unwraps boxes.
Yeah, I'll explain that. There's a market for anything. If you can unbox toy reviews, there is a market for everything. You just got to find it, and you can monetize it. So how it's monetized? So AdSense is the ad platform that's owned by YouTube. AdSense is also the pop-up ads that you see on websites. So that's owned by Google, and YouTube uses that as a way to place ads on the video. So if you see ads on a video, that means the video is monetized, and it has all the copyright-free music and all that, and it's owned by the original content producer. And if you see ads, that's AdSense going at work. And does anyone know what CPM means? CPM, the acronym means? That means cost per thousand is what CPM means. And cost per thousand on YouTube is about $10 for 1,000 views. So if you have a large audience like the Toy Review channel does, AdSense will put ads on every single one of those viewers' videos. And that's how advertising agencies will pay YouTube to have the ads on the video. So that's how they monetize the YouTube ads there.
That's from the YouTube perspective. The other way he makes money is from sponsorship of the products he's opening. Yeah. So toy companies will send him products and pay him to now open them.
And if you still don't get
Crazy.
If you still don't get it, basically think about a big company like a Toy Review channel who sees 11 million or like whatever amount of views in millions that could potentially have a toy review ad on that. That's basically just a new market that big businesses will want to dive into, I guess. So that's how AdSense works. Puts ads on the video, millions of people watch it. Yeah?
So does AdSense pay him or does AdSense pay YouTube?
It pays YouTube and then YouTube gives a cut. I think it's 45, 55. Yep.
And does AdSense choose which videos want to go, or can you put your hand up and have it on your...
You have to be eligible to apply for it.
Which means you have to have a certain amount of views. So
Yeah, to
learning how
spam.
to increase your views is really, really important if you want to monetize
And then
that
you
way.
apply for it.
That's right.
So if you pay attention earlier, I said that most videos are viewed on mute. This is why it's important to know that you should use subtitles in all your videos. YouTube provides the auto-generated stuff. However, it's possible to obtain a transcribed file. I think Maggie mentioned websites like rev.com. You can upload it to YouTube, and then you will have a subtitled video that can be viewed on mute. You cannot use copyrighted music in the background. Even just in the background, like if it's low volume, YouTube's algorithm AI will pick up on music that's copyrighted. It'll scan your video as you're uploading it. And I'll show you when that happens. YouTube allows you to pick your own thumbnail, like I mentioned. Consider if your thumbnail is eye-catching. So if you were to put yourself in your viewer's shoes, what type of thumbnail would they want to click, or what type of thumbnail would you want to click if you're role-playing as them? Okay, so this is a page on YouTube. This is basically a statistic page that shows all your views and your followers, and also, this is the most important here, your post engagements. So engagement is basically people who clicked a link in your description, like a referral link or something like that.
Who knew on their YouTube, who's got a YouTube channel? Anyone?
Channel.
Yeah. Did you know that you could access this as a free, not even a paid member? You can actually access all of your statistics and really start seeing who's watching, when they're watching, how often, and if you monetize it, you can actually also learn how to monitor those stats as well.
Well, firstly, you should all have a YouTube channel, even if you're not going to use it, because it's a free content platform and it's free storage. So get a YouTube channel when you go home, write that down. So yeah, the reach is basically how far it's expanding from new viewers, and the post engagement is who's clicking the URLs in your description box. And your description box is under your video, straight under it, and you can put your URLs, any information you want. And if they're clicking URLs, that's your post engagement, and that's basically potential market right there. So this basically shows all the views, the dislikes, the engagement. So this is the engagement on the bottom. Videos and playlists, shares, comments, and this is just the watch time and the views. And then there's your revenue and your average view duration. This view duration is 5 minutes. So this guy has an amazing view duration retainer. He can retain a viewer for 5 minutes instead of 10 seconds like I mentioned earlier. So this guy's doing amazing, and that's maybe why he has 1.5 thousand revenue.
Based on what we've talked about, why do you think people are watching 5 minutes instead of 10 seconds?
Yes,
yeah, good content, absolutely, but it's more than that. He's attracting the fanatical market, isn't he? There's a fanatical market who just love RVs, yeah? And so they're going to read and watch anything they possibly can. It's like a cat lady, yeah? And somebody who's into RVs are into RVs, and they're more likely to watch longer versions of whatever you're putting out.
Okay, so now I'm going to move on to something which is about screen recording. So if you're making online courses, you may need to record your screen. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how to do that on your computer for every platform if you have Windows or Mac. So there's a free and open source program named OBS that can capture your desktop in high resolution, so it's perfect quality, and it's available for Windows and Mac. ScreenFlow is a Mac application. It's paid, but it's very excellent. It's worth the money. Camtasia is a Windows alternative if you don't have a Mac. And basically, you need some hardware that we're going to talk about in the next slide. Quality microphones, so you're going to see some products that we have listed over here next to Maggie. And a PowerPoint or Google Slides you can use. You can record those and make a video out of it if you wanted to, which is another option. All right, let's talk hardware for a bit.
Yeah, I'll show you some of these. These are some of the things that I use as a necessity in my course development stuff. So I have lots of little gadgets. Who's a gadget person? I love gadgets. But these are kind of the necessary ones that I would think. Definitely lots of tripods to do your lives, to do everything that you want in all different versions. Like I've got kind of handheld ones. I have big ones for more substantial to put my iPads and things on. I've got adapters where an iPad can go on it, or just my mobile phone, all of that kind of stuff. This is a Zoom microphone. It's a handheld, or it's great if you're out and about, for those of you who might want to do interviews in your books and things. This is a brilliant quality one. I think it's about $189, maybe $200, something like that. It's by a brand called Zoom, and it comes with the big, microphone. It looks like a proper microphone if you want to be doing interviews, or if you're doing an online course, you've got two people. It's two directional. You've got two mics, one pointing that way, one pointing that way. So you can actually put it down in front of, if you're doing your face-to-camera stuff on your computer, put it down in front of you, and if one person is sitting here and one person is sitting here, it will pick up both voices, which is fabulous as well, but very, very handy thing to have. Another handy thing that I don't do without is my desktop microphone, which I use a Rode. There are many, many different other brands, but Rode is really good quality. And this just plugs in as a USB into my computer, and it becomes a podcaster. It becomes, if I'm doing really, a big, to a big audience overseas, etc., then I will actually be using something like this. And I normally have what's called a popper on it as well. I will just have that in front of it that stops that sound, or the p, 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 and all of the hard P's and the hard B's and things. And so I'll grab it, it's fine, thank you, Sophia. So it's just kind of like a stocking, yeah? And you put it in front of, this one's got one automatically, but I actually use an extra one because I have very hard P's and S's. And so my P's and S's, if I'm on a very sensitive platform, actually get picked up quite harshly. And so the sound can be quite annoying if somebody's listening with earphones and things. And so it softens it. So it'll just mute the harsher sounds more. It's phenomenal, the stuff you can get, believe me. I can't remember. I bought this a long time ago. It's less than $50, I think. Okay. This one's a bit more expensive. I think this was a couple of hundred, maybe $200 or $300. I can't remember how much exactly it was, but it's a very, very good one. Obviously, you've got lighting, which is incredibly important if you're going to be doing video. That's the little microphone thing that sits over that handheld one I was talking about. I showed this before in my unwrapping process. Don't you all want to buy one now? This is just called a little Luvo light, and I use this quite a lot because I travel so much for work. And in hotels, who's staying in this hotel room? In this hotel, how's your lighting? Terrible. It's terrible, isn't it? You try and do a live video stream to your Facebook audience and stuff, you won't be able to see a thing. So I carry this with me in my bag quite often, definitely if I've left home. And I also have these little lights that can come with me when I travel as well because they're really lightweight. But you literally just pop this over your phone. Has anyone got a phone that's not in a container? Yep. It's called Beauty Ring Light.
Oh, it does wonders, does it?
Yes. So you pop it over your camera, over your phone, or actually you better do it on the end that the camera is on. That will help. So you pop it over, and it doesn't block the camera unless, or it's not made for our Samsung, sorry. It needs to be an iPhone. There's different, you can get a version for your Samsung. So with an iPhone, you pop it over, and the camera is still visible. Yeah. You turn on the light, and you do your live. Yeah. So it changes everything. Well, that's why you have the white version. See, it's very clever. If you do buy one of these, you need to be aware that you have to click it 3 times to turn it on and 3 times to turn it off. Most people get it and go, doesn't work, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You just got to be patient. I learned that from being impatient. Not working, it's not working. So it has a white light. Oops, wrong one. It has a white light. Yep. And then if you add the flesh tone white light to it, then it softens the nighttime wrinkles. Okay? So it's very powerful. All right, so that's called a beauty ring light, purely because it's really, really easy, and you can transport it around very easily. Another thing actually Kelly brought to my attention on this trip down from Gladstone. I didn't have one of these before, and I'm about to go and buy one. It is tremendous. This actually pops on to any desk, wherever you are. So if you're doing, wherever you decide to do, you've got a little USB thing too. And your phone goes in here. I've also got an iPad one, so if you've got a mini iPad adapter, you can put that in there. Yeah, that one's got one as well. And so this is very adaptable for my office. I would love to use this in my office for just quick lives and things like that, because I've got quite bad downlighting. Where did you get this from?
eBay, $38.
eBay.
Wow. eBay, $38.
What was it called?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
I better give somebody back their phone. Definitely with your. Oh, I'm sorry, Siri. It's a USB cable, plugs straight into your computer and charges up. Doesn't need batteries. It's heaven. Yep. I bought that from a store in Australia online called Luvo, L-U-V-O. Okay. Any kind of equipment like this, this kind of stuff comes with little remote controls that you just pair to your phone or pair to your iPad, so that you can be standing on this side, the camera's here, you've got your camera in there, and you're standing on this side, and you can just go play and it's recording, you do what you need to do and you click and it's off. Yeah. So you don't have to be going, oh, and then forget to edit it out and you pop it up onto your course and you're on the course going,
Does that show the reflection in your glasses? The recording?
Yes, so it actually does, and so you need non-reflective glasses, or don't wear your glasses when you're recording. So if you've got the non-reflective glasses, it works. This particular lighting up here, we haven't got is it plugged in? No, it's not. So these are called soft boxes, and you can buy them in sets of, I think they come in sets of 3. Is that what this one came in? 2. This one is 2. This is a slightly more expensive. My old one were the big square ones, and they came in a set of 3 with a green screen. Does everyone know what a green screen is? Yep. So that came in, I think that was about maybe $200 tops. And this was a lot more than that. These are much more professional. But they're great if you've got a room in your house that you want to set up as kind of a permanent little video studio. And you just plug them in when you're ready for them and away you go. And you can move them around the house as well. They're so lightweight as well, which is fabulous. Cool.
Alrighty, thank you, Maggie. So basically, these programs, this is what I use, but I don't expect anyone in this room to actually use these. I expect you to use OpenShot and Camtasia and OBS. But I use the Adobe suite because that's what I use. These ones are very, these ones require a lot of, what would you say, like prior investment, like with how Maggie does her workshops. But I would look at using these type of programs. If you want to edit your own videos, you need a good laptop. The greater the specifications, the better it'll be. You need sufficient storage on your computer. So when I'm filming, it can get up to 100 gigabytes a day, so I need a sufficient SD card, and also I need somewhere to put it on my laptop. So if you don't have storage, you need to purchase that externally. Oh, we're out. That's right.
Yeah, I think the battery is going, sorry.
That's right, we'll finish up. So if you're hiring a video editor, the editor will require you to have an intro, an outro, and the logo image files on your computer so he can edit the files in his video editing program. When you're sure that the video quality is of good standard and well lit and good resolution, then you send it over to him, and you send the media files through an editor, through a cloud solution such as Dropbox, or prepare a storage drive like I just mentioned to give to the video editor so he can copy it to his computer, and then he can edit it from there. When you're exporting your files, make sure that the settings are set correctly. So it's called encoding, and you want to make sure that it's the proper resolution. So 1080p, you might be aware of that, which is
1080p. Did you get that? That's your proper resolution that you require.
Yes, and that's what you need to make sure you're setting correctly before you export it. Otherwise, you might upload it. You might upload it and not even realize that it's a bad frame rate or a poor resolution, which is how sharp and quality the video is. So this is Adobe Premiere. So this is the program that I don't recommend you use. This is just me showing off what I use and what it looks like for editors. So all these little bits of information, these are all video cuts. So if you're able to have well-lit video footage, and also you're able to split it up perfectly, or better, consider that the video editor is going to have to spend a lot of time, and you're probably paying a video editor, so you want to make sure your footage is good and it doesn't drag on for too much. So uploading your video, here's our thumbnails down the bottom. So that's just showing you about how you can upload your custom thumbnails. So when you press upload on YouTube, youtube.com, and then press upload, this is what you get. So you can set your title at the top here, which is basically the title that your viewers see. You can set it to be private or public. Public is probably what we want here if we're doing courses and things like that. And this is the description where it said about, when I was talking about video engagement before, this is where you want to have your URLs and all of those type of things. And also tags. These go through an algorithm, Google's AI algorithm, and basically if you have good tags in your video content, then you might be put on the trending page on YouTube.
Are we all monitoring what those tags that he's written are? Because obviously he's chosen them because they're trendy. VR chat, test, digital trends, guide, how to. I'd be taking note of that if I were you.
So the reason why video tags are actually one of the most important things is because if the Google algorithm AI picks up a tag and it's a good video and it has high engagement, it'll put it on its front page. And Google doesn't even know how the algorithm works. So basically what it does is takes the tags, and if it's popular and it's trending, it'll put your video on the front page without even needing a human. So that's why the tags are important.
Very cool.
And also at the top, the little side note, the processing, that's where the video gets scanned for copyrighted music and all that. That's when it happens, the processing element. So in conclusion, that's a lot of information I know and I realize. However, try not to get too overwhelmed because there are some simple solutions that we're going to offer, and Maggie will tell you a little bit about that. And I'm going to be around tonight at the VIP's booth tonight to have a chat if you'd like to, and I can explain some of the points that I went through in this PowerPoint. If you have any things written down, I'd be happy to at least say hello to you, and yeah, have a good night.
Are you sure we're not too old? Thank you, darling. Thank you. Big cheers for Lachlan. Woo! Okay. We're breaking for afternoon tea. Our afternoon tea break is out there. We'll be back here at 3:30. If you have questions, let me know for the last session of the day. Woo! Are you all overwhelmed? Yes! Are you happy to be overwhelmed? No!